Good.
So the easiest thing to do would be to set up your social media for success, and you can easily do that. So if you go to Drive, Google Drive, if you're in your KW email, so if you want to just like close those doors just because it's hard for people on Zoom. Got it. So what you'll do is you'll go to new and you'll go to Google Sheets and click on the arrow. Don't just like click on Google Sheets, and you can do from a template. And you're going to choose the calendar. And I know that Google, I don't know if they came out with the 2022 calendar yet. But you can just choose annual calendar. And let that load. And what we're going to do is set up your entire year. You can really set up your entire year, and then, every month prior, go in and update anything that you want also to be added. So if I go to January.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You go to Google Calendar.
So I went to Drive, then Excel, then choose from template, which is the little arrow, and you can choose from template. Anyone else need me to go back that's on Zoom? So when you go to Drive, wow, I have a lot of tabs open. You'll go to new. I'm doing that there. New, and then go to the arrow next to Google Sheets and choose from a template. So you're going to Drive. You're not going to calendar. So you can just type drive.google.com. Did you choose from a template?
Oh, yeah.
So when you're in here, and I think that this is the wrong. Like I said, they're still coming out with the 2022 template, but you can obviously just change this around. So you'll have every month. First thing I do, and I'm happy to upload this template to our office so that you guys have it. What I always do is I would make the columns, and you can click Command or Control depending on the computer you have, and click on the columns or rows. I always get confused which one's rows and which one's columns. And then you can click on them, and then you'll drag it open so that you have more space to write in each of the boxes for each day. And again, this is to set you up with all of your social media content, which a lot of agents call filler content, not necessarily your listings, just listed or customer reviews, anything like that. This is more like informational resources type of stuff for your clients. So what you'll do is, again, I can set this all up so you guys can all have it. So you don't have to do it right now. I'll put it on the social media page on the website. But I like to do is, first of all, I'm going to make this whole thing blue is like too dark. It's going to be hard to see. And like I said, you can just have this exact one. I'll put it on the website. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this so that there's boxes so that it's easy to see, what day is what content. And I'm just going to show you this 1 week to show you how you can set this up, because we're going to go over this class, a lot of it. But we have done individually these classes. We kind of just combined it to prepare your marketing for 2022. So you guys have an idea of how it can make your life easier. So Casey and I do this class usually once a month just on content calendar. So what you'll want to do is, I always say it's good to give a resource, something going on in the town, and then incorporating stats and your business. Nowadays, the consumer doesn't just want to see like your, here's my listing, bought this house. They want to know what's going on in town. They want to know they're very nosy. They want to know what you're personally doing. If you go to a restaurant, take a picture of your plate and like say like, oh, this is what I would recommend. Like, or if you have like good relationships with people at restaurants, maybe around the holidays, you can see like, oh, if you use my name, you'll get a free appetizer. Or, talk to, honestly, small businesses love to collaborate, even if it's a small clothing shop or something like that. See if maybe 1 week you can do like a client appreciation, come stop by and support this local business. If you say my name or you give them, this coupon, you'll get 10% off your order or whatever you want to do. You know, small businesses love to collaborate, and it's a great way to really get your face in the town that you really want to focus on.
And not only that, they also like to see, like Reese is saying, your brand authenticity. So they like to see that you're being authentic, or that you're maybe doing something with your family on the weekends. They like to really see and get to know the personal side of you as well. So even doing maybe a behind the scenes, or, you know, if you're out to dinner with your family, posting a little something personal too.
Yeah, they love, I know a lot of people don't like posting about that, but that's like what they want. That's what the people want, guys. Give them what the people want. So, you know, I always recommend on like Fridays or Thursdays, you can do the day that you do something about the community, whether it be an event like, you know, Vanson Park is like transforming into this like winter wonderland. You could post about that. You could post about, you know, maybe there's a high school state championship basketball game, or it doesn't have to necessarily be regarding your business. If you're doing an event and you're going to be there, be like, hey, maybe I'll see you. I'll have my, you know, Red KW mask on, like, feel free to come say hi, you know, whatever you want to do. Obviously I would say schedule for the month 3 filler contents, 2 to 3 filler contents, because then, you know, when that month comes, you're going to have stuff to talk about, you know, whether it be a customer, you know, review, a client appreciation post, you're just listing an open house, you're doing, you know, you have buyers looking, you know, something that I think is great that a lot of people are starting to post about is stories or a collage of photos. Like, here's some cool features in houses that I went on showings with my clients this week. And it'd be like, you know, a weird like mirror in a bathroom, or a cool little closet, or, you know, you're going there, the pictures are on the internet. So you're welcome to take a picture, post about it, and say like, look at this custom cabinet that you could, you know, DIY or whatever. Like, that could be something that it's more of a personal touch, but it's still regarding like business and showing them that, you know, you're doing business. So that can be something that's more of an in-between. So I would schedule, you know, you could say like Monday. Some people like to do specific days that are the same every week. So say Monday could be like hashtag market update, you know, and then every week you could choose a different town or a different stat you want to post. I would highly recommend, if you're comfortable, to do a video, and you could say like, here's my tip of the week or my market update. Or even if you're like, you have a house on the market, just do a quick video, be like, hey, come stop by this weekend at my open house, and post that. People love to see, you know, raw. It doesn't have to be edited. Just take a nice selfie, you know, put it out there. They love to see that. And I know that's something that a lot of agents don't necessarily enjoy doing, but that's what can like make you stand out from the other agents. So
even if you're at a broker's open too, you could do the same thing. Of course, you need to get permission from that, from that seller, but take a video of you going behind the scenes, of you there. Feature it. Say, I'm looking for my client. Check out this broker's open.
Yeah, and honestly, something that I saw, I live in Essex County, and there's like this group that's like Secret Montclair. And one of the agents in it posts every single open house that's going on in Montclair, and he has it branded to him in the corner. So it's like a flyer, but it's all the open houses, not just theirs, going on. And if I was a regular consumer, obviously I have my license, so if I buy a house, I can just be my agent. But if I was a regular consumer and that person posts that every single week, you know, if you're in a, like, I know some people are in like Upper Saddle Moms or Wyckoff Residents, and you're able to post that on certain days, post it, because they're going to remember like, oh, you know, Felly, she's the one that posts every single Friday about the open house that's going on all over the county, or whatever you want to do. So those little things that you can give them, resources that aren't just about specifically your business, you know, those buyers and consumers are going to remember your face. So things like that I think are huge. Even if you do like the top 5, you know, top most luxury listings in Bergen County right now, you know, and point out little features about them. Again, everything's on the internet, so you can be posting about that stuff. It's just after the fact. You just have to make sure, if like, say you're working with a seller and legally you're not allowed to put photos of the inside of the house unless you have, you know, permission from the technical new owners of the property. So as long as it's active, you're fine. Something else that I do recommend, like client appreciation, I would highly recommend at least once a month posting something, whether it be a picture of like your client with a for sale sign, or even just a, a client testimonial or something like that. Definitely do that once a month. Like I said, things going on in the town, you can see what's going on in the town for the whole month. So you might even be able to see now for like January, probably till like March, probably not after that. But that's where we're going to show you where you can get all free content that if you really don't have time, you could literally not think of a single thing and have that free content. Casey, before we move on to that, do you have anything else to add to the content calendar?
Yes, just, it's also great, maybe not once a month, but as often as you can find something or do something, tying something to a charity. So find out what kind of charities are going on for December or January, see what is going on in your local community and feature, it doesn't have to be that you're giving a donation, but feature something nice about them.
Yeah, and
educate people.
Something based on that you could do at the end of the year, if you donate to KW Cares, every, some people do the same amount. So say you do $5 for every transaction and you did, I'm just gonna say 10 for easy math, 10 transactions, you donated $50. Make a post, come January and say, through my KW contributions to KW Cares, this is what KW Cares is able to provide to these families, because you can look that information up. I think that would be a great post because it shows that not only are you an agent, but you're also able to, be part of charity in that same company too. And it can be a good recruiting tool, to get other agents to join as well.
Is this a private meeting?
No, it accidentally was an in-person, also Zoom class. So you can stay if you want. So yeah, like any charity that you're doing, like I said, event that you're doing, make sure to highlight those. Even if you go to an event, it doesn't have to be something you're hosting. You could just say, had this great time at this event, definitely check them out next year. If you're going to like a basket raffle or something like that, if they're still allowing donations, you could post about that. If it's in your town, post like, hey, donations are still allowed. And this can just be a story. It doesn't have to be a post. You can say like, oh, I'm at the, Midland Park basket raffle to raise money for the juniors for their grad ball. Donations are still open till 12 a.m. If you're interested, donate and I'll match everything you guys donate if you send me a screenshot, or do something where you're matching. That's a huge way to get people, if you're really passionate about something, getting them to, you could say like, I'll match every $10 that you put, so you're not like overspending a lot, but it's a great way to really interact. Like I said, they want to know what you're doing personally, not just professionally. And a lot of that is intertwined. So it's good to be posting about both those things. If you don't want to post personally, then you do have the ability to have free content, and it is on our All in KW page. If you go to more and you go to Ridgewood resources and you scroll down to free social media resources and you click here, we have a whole page of all of our previous classes that we've taught, tips and tricks, and then a whole list of all free social media content. Homekeeper, that's a great one. That is your free blog that every KW agent gets. Now it is going to be the same content for every KW agent, but I don't have a login because I'm a staff member. So I'm going to go to someone's that I know has it. You don't have to necessarily, basically you'll get emails. You might have already unsubscribed because I know they send a lot of emails, but you can just delete that email. That doesn't have to do with your, what you want to be putting out. You also get a blog you can incorporate to your website super easily. And they post 3 articles a week. So if you wanted to even just do 1 article a week, you wouldn't have to think about it. The article's here. And the good thing is this is very consumer related, and that's what they want. They don't want you saying like, here's 5 ways, to get your house on the market all the time. They don't want that every month. These are more of like DIYs, things that they can do within their house. So like this one, create the illusion of an indoor space. Should you keep your radiator system? Cool weather pest control for beginners. Maybe you want to post that one. If I go to that, I don't necessarily, if you want to make it really simple, you could download this image, post it, take the first paragraph, put the link and say, if you want to read more. But if you want to be more branded to you, you would just take this topic. And again, Casey and I usually recommend, if you want to take a day and really plan out. You could plan every single holiday post and schedule it in Command. You could plan all these posts that you want to schedule that are filler content. If you really want to take one full day, if you have a day open, you wouldn't have to post anything throughout the year except maybe those like stats you want to post that need to be more updated, and also your real estate actual transaction posts. You could schedule everything for the whole year, or maybe you want to do for 6 months. And again, these are just 2 to 3 posts a week. The cool weather, these articles are going to be more related based on the time. The cool weather is going to be based on until February. So you could have this post be end of January. It doesn't have to be right now. So you could take this, and make the post with your branded image on it in Command, and, take this article, and you can always put that article, as a link if you want to read more. Or you could, if you embed it in your website, you can say, check out my website for the full article, which is really great. Like I said, if you want to make it simple, you don't have time to brand anything, you just post this link right then and there, wouldn't have to do anything. You just want to make sure that it is yours. Everyone gets their Homekeeper. So obviously I'm not going to post mine as Roddy, because then they'll go to Roddy's website. But the reason I do recommend making it branded is because every agent does do this. I'm not saying every agent utilizes it. I think it's very underutilized, but maybe everyone on this call does it. You want to make sure that you're taking maybe those quick tips. Usually the articles will have like, here's one, make sure your gutters are clean, and then a whole paragraph on gutters. You don't necessarily need the whole paragraph on gutters. You could just put that, here's 5 things, and put those main things and say, if you want to learn more, check out my website for the full article. Awesome. Yeah, there you go. So Casey, you have anything on Homekeeper or how to post articles?
Not on Homekeeper, but I just want to mention also, I'm sure you'll go over it on Outfront.
Huge.
They basically have posts for every single day of the month.
So I'm going to update this on the website. I thought I did, but it must not.
Yeah, I'll include the link too.
But they have 30. So what is this? 30, I think 31 has December. So 31 posts that you can do. And not every single one is going to be, here's the post. It's going to give you an idea. So it kind of allows you to make it your own. And let me find it. They did just post it. I saw.
I posted it in the chat.
Oh, I'll just open it from there then. So if I go to Outfront, can you see still? Oh yeah, you still can. Outfront is outfront.kw.com. And that link is on the website under that social media page. They have 31 ideas. So even if you didn't want to do anything else, technically you could post every single day for the whole year from here. So let's say week 1, they obviously give you one for every day, but maybe you just want to do a few. December 4th, highlight 1 or 2 recent listings with a gorgeous living room, perfect for hosting. This is the time that people want to know that they have entertaining space. So that's, again, this is more giving you the idea for the post. It's not necessarily giving you the post. So this is if you really are stumped maybe one week, or I would say take one idea from here once a week. So now you have an article once a week, and you have a post from Outfront that you can create once a week. That's already 2 filler contents that you'll have. And again, you have the whole month of December. You can plan and schedule all of these. Some of them, do have links to like graphics that you can use. And they'll actually bring you into Command where that graphic is held. So this one was on home improvement. So this is going to bring me directly into the Command template designs. Whoa, what was that? Just tell me to slow down. I just get like really excited about things, and then I start to talk fast. So home improvement, maybe you just had a price drop, or, maybe you just had, 30 offers. That would be huge to be posting about. I just had this house go $40,000 over asking. That's a way to show, the market's still hot. So it would bring you exactly to these templates. So if you click on that, it'll bring you into the design tool. Again, not everything is going to do that, but you do have that, any holiday special steals and deals. So the Outfront is more of a content idea, which usually is the hardest part, is figuring out what you want to post. So if you're very creative, design wise, and you don't have a problem designing things, I would say use this. I'm telling you, I don't think I've seen a single person use this that I have, consistently. So I'm saying if you really want to take this and use it every single day, I don't see, even though Stella posted it, I don't realize it's from here because she branded it to her. That's what KW Outfront really gives you the ability to, even if you have the same idea, it's not going to be the exact same post. Where if you post that Homekeeper blog and you don't brand it to yourself, every single agent technically could post that exact same thing. So if you're good with designing and you don't have, that's not where you have the struggle of, preparing for the year, definitely take ideas from here. So now we have, you technically have 7 every week. So you could even take December's ideas, extend it to January again. December and January are going to have similar relations to, the market's not going to, if anything, it's going to get even more. People are slowing down right now just because they don't want to sell in between, Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's. But once the New Year starts, it's not like any market things are really going to change in terms of winter. You can still say the winter market is as hot as the spring market was, if not more. So you can take these ideas and schedule some of them for January. And again, I always say once a week, take 30 minutes, take an hour, whatever day, usually you have maybe an extra hour that you have time, and look at what I have the next week and make sure everything still is, relatable and makes sense with what's going on right now. And you can always change out content. But like Casey said, Outfront is huge because it really does give you that ability to make everything your own without you having to be stumped on what am I posting this week. You also have, again, you guys are part of a board, like National Association of Realtors. You get free blog posts, same as Homekeeper. You can get from NJ Realtors the stats for every month, and they can be very specific. So you could even extend those stats once a week based on different things. So they really dive into detail on stats. And if you are the Ridgewood office, and I'm sure other offices do it as well, we send out a stat every Friday. You could literally download that and just share it right away. And you wouldn't have to worry about a Friday post. Obviously that's great. And it's branded to KW, and that can be a great tool that is slightly recruiting without people thinking that it's too much. Post about, like Sally posted about how, we raised money to donate and we took care of a family for Christmas. Take Sally's post and reshare it on your wall if you donated. Like, show your consumers that you're not just a real estate agent. You get involved in the community, you're involved with your board, you're involved with other things. They don't just, like I said, want just listed, open house, just listed, buyer just bought this property, buyer just bought that. They want to know the in-betweens of, you're not just doing that all day. You're involved in other things too. So
what Reese and I are really going over, everything really falls in all the different types of, content we're talking about. They really fall into 3 different buckets. So you want to make sure you're educating your office, your audience. That's 1 bucket. 2 is you want to make sure you're inspiring them, just like what Reese is saying. Tell them about their community. And then the last one is really engagement. Make sure you're engaging with them. So, and that's through a lot of times through video or sharing behind the scenes. So it's really all the content that we're talking about is falling in between those 3 buckets.
Yeah, and this content you can schedule, like, even if I would recommend doing it quarterly, if you really want to spend time. So you can prep now for January, February, March. Have those 3 months ready, and then all you have to worry about is posting when you have those transactions. Everything else is taken care of. You can always delete posts, and you can schedule everything in Command. So like I said, check out the rest of this page. We do a class fully just on the free content, so feel free to come to that too. But I want to definitely go over the smart plan that you can prep so that you have that ability to have a smart plan ready to set you up for the year, to make sure you're contacting your consumer and getting their updated information and providing them with, things that, maybe you weren't doing this year. Any questions on the free social media content, scheduling? We do a whole class on that if you're not familiar with. And I think, is that what we're doing next week? I forget what the class is. Next week, we're doing how to brand your business. So if you don't have your business branded for next year, you maybe need a little refresher. We go over completely how to do that. Uh-oh, I'm frozen. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Okay. So what you're going to want to do is go to command. And again, I'm going to make this smart plan. And like right now, I'm just going to kind of go over what can be added, but I am going to post this smart plan in the smart plan library so that you guys can add it. So I will send that out in the Friday email for Ridgewood. And if anyone's on here, not from Ridgewood, it will be on that free social media page. I'll tell you what exactly the title is. You can always search my name. I post smart plans here and there so that you guys can just easily add them. So what you'll want to do is go to your smart plan tab. And for you guys, if you guys are just going to pull the one that I'm doing, you're going to go to library and you can actually change smart plan name to author. And you would just be able to type my name in, and my name's Reese, if you didn't know, and you would be able to see that. So like I created a 38 touch plan for your sphere that you can add. Oh, I got 5 stars. And I have one if you just joined KW, and you can see how many agents are using it. So it is very helpful. I've added some other ones, but I'll definitely post this one and call it, 2022, database. I'll figure out the name, but I'll let you guys know what it is. So you'll go to smart plans and you're going to click create. And again, you could just take this idea and make your own. But again, having the one that I'm going to have and editing it, you don't have to worry about everything. So I'm going to call this 2022 database reach and click apply. And this is going to bring me into my database. First thing I would recommend is a task and you can make it a non-touch task. And this is just going to be to check your client's timeline and see what's going on. And this is really for you to see who's active, who's using your app, who maybe you haven't emailed or talked to in a year. Those are going to be the people you want to reach out to first. So what I would do is, and the nice thing is you can use this function tool, and you'll click function and do contact first name. So I can write, let me go back over, check timeline, check, first name, and I can do last name, contact. And then in the description, I can say, see if they are using the app, see the last time I talked to them. And I did just teach a class on database and using it for lead generation. And I'm going to plan on doing that class the first week of January too. So if you're interested how you can really use your database in Command and the Command mobile app to focus on making sure your follow-up system is airtight, I'll go over that in that class, and that'll be open to all of BCP. So the description is where you want to make the notes, and it's really just for yourself to remember why you're checking the timeline. So if there are certain things that maybe in your business, you want to make sure that they have, add that in there too. Again, this is just a task for yourself. This isn't sending anything to them. Then I'm going to set a delay. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a call. Sorry, not that. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to do add a smart plan, and I'm going to choose the quarterly call plan. And the reason you want this as the first part of the smart plan is then you're going to get that notification to call them. And then, quarterly, you'll get a notification every quarter to call them. So I have my quarterly call plan, and then I'm going to set a delay. And the reason you're adding that, like I said before, maybe an email, is so that, they're first on your lead gen. And the nice thing is you can set this smart plan up to only have a certain amount of people per day. So say you set it up for it to go out January 1st, and you want the quarterly call, you can't call 100 people in one day. So when you add this smart plan to your database, you can set to only 10 people a day, and it'll go over the course of whatever amount of contacts you have. If you have 100, it'll go over the course of 10 days, and it'll give you those people to call every single day for your lead gen, at least 10 of them. So it really helps for that. Like I said, you'll then add an email. I would set this for January 1st. I'll make sure that this is available to you guys this week, so you'll have it. And I'm just going to make the subject like happy New Year. That's a safe one. You don't have to worry about people not celebrating. It's a new year, no matter if they celebrate New Year's or not. So instead of simple, and this is why I'm saying you should just add mine so that you can just update it, I would recommend doing a design. Now, this is why, and I can only for me to share, I can't do many. So this will probably be the only one that I design. So I'm going to click select design, and in KWRI templates, I think there actually is a New Year's one. Yeah. So there's a classic Happy New Year one. So I'm going to take that. And this is going to be, it's going to have my branding to it. First thing they're going to see in the new year with full branding. You know, you don't want to just send them a simple email first thing off, because then again, we're all talking about top of mind and making sure that they remember. So I'm going to change the name of this. I think it's still loading. I have too many tabs open probably, but you would set this up again if you didn't want to change anything. Oh, all right. Well, we already know what we went over, and I'll make sure it's all there for you guys. But I'm going to set delay, then an email. So again, I would choose design email, choose that New Year email. Even if you have like, maybe you have a photo in front of your sign with like, maybe you like do a popper like Sally and you want to do a boomerang, you can add that video into there, make it a little more personable, and just say like, Happy New Year. Hope you and your family are doing well. I hope to hear from you soon. Because then by sending that email, they're expecting to hear from you. So when you go to call them, you know they got that email that, you know, kind of gives you excuse like, oh, did you get my email? And if they didn't, say, oh, can I check if this is your correct email? You know, it's the new year. I want to make sure I have your correct information. So, you know, when I do reach out to you, you know, that's kind of your key. If they didn't get the email, to get that updated email. That's really the beginning of the year is when you want to make sure that you have their information, that it's correct. So sending that email and on your call saying, hey, did you get my email? You know, and if they say no, then you know, okay, how can I get their new email? Say, oh, well, I'd love to send you, you know, I'm going to be starting a quarterly newsletter that I'd love to send you with all the information on real estate and in our neighborhood. Whenever you're talking about a town, if you're trying to target, always say our, because it makes it more personable. They're not going to, I mean, they might ask you where you live. So if you're focusing on a town that you don't live in, say, you know, our neighborhood still can be Bergen County. So, you know, you don't have to specifically live in that town. But that's a great way to get that new email, and just say, obviously you have them on the phone, so you don't have to worry about not having their correct phone number. So in that case, you can kind of check that off as a mental to-do list, saying, okay, I have their correct phone number, I have their correct email. Then obviously you're calling them quarterly, you know, you're touching them 4 times that year, but you probably want to make a call in between then. And again, through your lead gen, like I said, I did that class and I'm going to be doing it again. You can, you know, if you're doing D2, D3, you're probably going to call them again, and you'll be able to see when you call them. So if they come up on your list and you just called them 2 days ago, you can actually delay the task to call them maybe in a week. So you have that ability to use that if you're using command to its fullest. After the email, I would set a delay and maybe make the delay, you know, 30 days or 15 days. And then what I would do is, you know, either, you know, you can send them your app link, and you can do that. If you have Twilio set up, I would recommend doing a text. If you don't, send an email and just say, you know, the market is so crazy. See what the houses around you are going for, as well as see what homes, you know, maybe in your downsize or your upgrade are going for. So you can start preparing now and making sure that you budgeted, and I can help you assist with that. Giving them your app is huge because it's going to give you the ability to see what's going on in their head. And that's another thing in that task to check and make sure that in their timeline, if they have your app. If not, that's what this smart plan is going to be helpful for, you know, is making sure they have the app. And you can say in that email, if you already have my app downloaded, I'd love to hear what your favorite feature is, or if you've seen a home on the market that you think I should be highlighting, you know, so that they're not like, oh, well, they are obviously sending this to everyone. You know, you want to make it where you kind of cover all your bases. And that's why I'm going to publish this for you guys. So all you have to do is like change your name and any other additional information you might want to add. Like for you, Stella, you have kind of another side business. Maybe you want to kind of incorporate those two together for the new year. So you can do that in a simple email. Again, the function tool is huge because that's what's going to make it personable. So I would say, hi, do contact first name, and I can do, hope your year has started off well. You know, I'm not going to type out the whole email, but it will be there. And you can actually use the function tool, and I'm going to put the app link in here. So if you have the app link in your marketing profile, you don't have to worry about adding your app link in the email because it's going to connect to that. So you can just say download, and you can say new. They don't know it's not new. I mean, it technically is still new. It's not like it's years old. You can say download and always say free. People love a free download. Download my free property search app. And, like I said, I'll write out the whole description, but you can obviously change all that. So now we've sent 2 emails and they're getting calls 4 times. So you've already you're going to be reaching out to them 6 times this year. And it's kind of setting up that 36 touch, but more so just for that first quarter. Casey, is there anything else you think is like pertinent or you think that they should be sending?
Just regarding the touches, like it's really important that you're not bombarding them with information as well. So like Reese mentioned, like set a delay, make sure you're using those delays and you're just looking at the quarterly calls. I know Reese is gonna make one for everyone on the call, but just make a template, I should say, but make sure like you're really looking at the delay and making sure that you're not bombarding your database.
And the good thing about setting this up is that you can, okay, once I finish, before you send it to anyone, look at it and be like, okay, this one's going out in January, then 30 days later, I'm sending this. And then 15 days later, I'm sending out this. So in February, I already have 2 things, and mark that on your personal calendar so that anyone in my database in February is getting 2 things, so that if you do have that like just listed, maybe you have like 3 listings coming on in February, you can be like, okay, they are already getting, 2 emails. I don't want to bombard them with like 4 separate emails. Maybe if you have 3 listings, just do one full, here's my listings for the month. Come stop by, every weekend this month to see these homes in person. If you don't have much going on that month, then maybe send them separately over the course of the month. But it is good to note because you don't want people unsubscribing. So that's like the main thing, is that you want your unsubscribe rate to be very little so that you don't have to worry about that. So it's good to have this marked on your personal calendar too. Obviously it's not going to be a specific day, but if you are planning out the month, I would recommend for the whole year, plan a specific day, whether it be the 3rd of the month or whatever day it is, the 3rd Friday of the month is when you plan out your marketing for the next month. Right, as a little task that day or an appointment, if you block out 3 hours or 2 hours, whatever you're blocking out, for all of your marketing for the next month, write in the little description, like this month, anyone in my database is getting, anyone who has been in my database from January is getting 2 emails this month and a text, so that okay, I can lean more towards digital marketing this month instead of, newsletters or that kind of stuff. And again, obviously this is just setting you up really for the first quarter. But there are great ones. Like I said, I have a regular 38 touch one that incorporates the neighborhood nurtures and all that stuff. But this is really great to set you up. Like I said, make sure you have all their correct contact information so that if they are looking to sell, you have all of that. And that's why sending them and giving them resources are huge. And even if say that, maybe there's like something fun going on in Bergen County and you really only do, marketing in Bergen County, or you can make a separate smart plan and say like Bergen County residents, and you could make an entire 1 month, every single month, a newsletter for what's going on in the county. That would be huge. Giving them stuff that they can do that doesn't have to relate to real estate, but them still recognizing, again, this is top of mind. You're the agent that's saying them that every single month. And a lot of times you'll get people that'll be like, oh my God, I went to X, Y, and Z because you sent to me and I wouldn't have known about it. And usually the county comes out, you're going to see all they already have everything planned for the year, for at least like their big things. And if not, you can have that template, to send at least something every month that goes on. Even if you make it, first quarter Bergen County, Bergen County events going on. Do it quarterly and you'll have that. And then every year you can just change that template out with that new information. So it's super helpful to make templates and spend the time on your marketing now to help yourself be more prepared for 2022 so you can do more business than admin work. So setting this up, this smart plan will set you up for your first quarter, your first lead gen, especially for January. And then, like I said, my plan is to do a smart plan for you guys every single month So you guys have something that you could share that you wouldn't have to make. One less thing for you guys to do. But if you're going to be doing a quarterly newsletter, you can incorporate that magazine that Chris does classes on, or you could do a quarterly newsletter and always touch on, at least give them one resource that doesn't have to do with real estate, educate them, or, tax season, maybe give them some recommendations on tax accountants that that are really great, or obviously always give them more than one. If you're doing a quarterly newsletter, something I recommend, and Casey, you can also say what you recommend stats, huge, especially, if I would highly recommend focusing. If you want to do multiple towns and send them out to those people that are in those towns, that's where the tags can come in a big handy way for your marketing in command. Stats, anything you have on the market, anything that is going on in town, an educational post, a resource. So whether it be, I would always give them vendors, and that's a great way to tell people that you work with consistently, hey, I'm going to be putting your name in my December, newsletter for people to reach out to about heating, and that's a great way for them to be like, oh, that's really nice. Give them your cards, give those vendors your cards, because then when they get those people on your client site, right in there, like if you use one of our vendors, let them know Stella sent you. That's huge, because then those vendors, if they know someone selling real estate, or they're in a house that maybe is a for sale by owner, they can be like, oh, well, I know this great real estate agent. And that's why building those small relationships can be huge, because that's what makes you unique, and that's going to set you apart from other agents. So educating, telling them about what you have going on, maybe your closed listings for the last month if you don't have anything active, giving them vendors for anything that has to relate to that quarter, more so seasons. Or if you have like a stager that maybe you want to highlight, anything like that, I think that's huge to put in a quarterly newsletter.
Educate, inspire, and engage.
Yeah. So definitely those three things are huge for anything you're doing marketing wise. You want to make sure you touch those at least once throughout the month.
And the only other thing I wanted to say, Reese, was when you're looking at your smart plan, you also want to make sure you're looking at what you scheduled also for social media. So that's why this is a great to do at the same time when you're thinking about your marketing, because you want consistency. So you want to make sure that whatever you're sending an email, if they're following you on social media, that they're also seeing a similar message. So you want to try to also be consistent in your messaging.
Yeah. So say, you're sending this out, make sure to post at least once a month that, download my app, because that you're going to be sending this out this first quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I would say 10 people a day. That'll give you those 10 people, right to call, especially for the beginning of the year, that you don't have to worry about. Sometimes the struggle is I'm too busy, I'm just going to skip lead gen. And if you have these 10 people that you're doing until you get through your entire database, you'll feel so much more productive in your first month in the new year than if you didn't have anything set up. So that's why I recommend, like I said, I'll be sending this newsletter out. It'll be on the social media page on our website. I'll just tell you what the title is for you guys to search. But setting up a smart plan for your first quarter is huge. Setting up a monthly newsletter or quarterly newsletter, I wouldn't do more than once a month or once a quarter. And again, that depends on the other marketing you have going on. Setting those up, because if you set up a design email template for your monthly newsletter, every month, all you have to do is when you make that smart plan, change out, I have different listing. Let me change out the photos. I have different vendors, everything's still laid out already. So templating and setting up your filler content for social media, those are the parts that I feel like it falls through the cracks a lot, because that's not what you're focused on. Your focus is on making sure you're finding a house for your buyer. Your focus is on selling that home. If you have this all set up, you don't have to feel like I didn't post at all this week. Even if you just schedule one post per week, every month has a holiday. Every month has a holiday. Or a season, if there's not a holiday, you can say like happy spring, to keep it more general. If there's multiple holidays a month, maybe keep it more till seasonal. And all those templates are already in command. You can go to holidays, and every holiday that month is in there for you to use a design. So you have those designs. And like I said, out front, you could plan all December. They have at least 31 options for you to choose from. Even if you just use one of their posts a week, and you know that you're going to post one real estate thing a week, and you're going to post that stat that gets sent every Friday, you know, you have kind of your filler content for every week for December. Well, obviously December's over, but they'll come out with January. Usually they come out with it about like the second to last week of the month for Outfront. But again, it's still winter. You can still take stuff from December that you could, you know, schedule for January. So scheduling and planning is what's going to make your 2022, at least the beginning, very organized. And once you get the hang of it, like I said, if you make a permanent date, every third Friday of the month is when I plan the next month, it's in your schedule. Don't move around your calendar. Just keep that block in there, you know, to make sure that you're doing that. I know that that's, you know, that's what we do with the office. Our second tactical that we have every month is when we plan all the events for the next month. So it helps us stay organized. When I'm doing social media for clients for transaction work, that's what I do. I plan everything out. It's really helpful. And even if you're not into Excel sheet, write it out on a piece of paper, wherever it makes sense for you, but planning out at least 2 posts a week will make you feel like if you do have a week where you're running around and don't have time, you don't have to worry about it. So Casey, any other finishing thoughts?
No, everything, you covered everything, but like Reese says, make sure you're being consistent with what you're doing. That's really also key.
Consistency.
So,
Key. That
yeah.
should just be the name of our topic, because that's
Yes.
every class.
Yep.
But yeah, we do social media classes every Wednesday this month, obviously with the holidays. Next week's our last class for the month. But next week is how to brand yourself. So if you need to rebrand you think, or you just want to know how to set up your branding in Command, we go over all of that. And if there's any classes that you guys want, just email us. We're happy to do them. You know, we've come up with some classes that we're going to switch up for, you know, the next year, but Casey and I both love marketing and social media classes. So whatever you guys are interested, just let us know and we're happy to add it to the calendar. Thanks, Jim. Any
Thank you,
questions
guys.
before we let you guys go? I can do that, Debbie.
We'll do it. Yeah, Smart Plan newsletter.
I recorded it, so this class will be on the website.
Great.
All right, everyone, have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.